So Zillow is back on a hiring spree, and not just Zillow, but 4 additional companies are going to pay you big bucks to train you to work from home in your pajamas, and there are no phones involved. So let's hop right in. So before we get into these jobs, let's talk about who's getting paid outside of the jobs, because a bunch of you watched my settlements video and you all are getting these massive settlement checks. Now, Miss Mama said, listen, Lexington Law sent me $2,506. I received emails that I hadn't cashed the check, and she saw that the date on the check was approaching, and she ran and deposited at the ATM. And so many more of you commented and said that some of you randomly received $2,400 in the mail, $780, another $700, another $600. Like, so many of you were commenting saying that you were getting all of these settlement checks from Lexington Law, and some of you, $914. Many of you had said, I didn't even use Lexington Law. Like, I didn't even use their services, but apparently they sold my information some kind of way, which is what YT was saying when he got the $800 settlement check. It was basically they sold his information. So many companies are selling people's information, and they're having to pay for doing that, even if you didn't use the services. So if I were you, even if you were looking for a job right now, I would probably put a pin in this video and go check out my most recent settlement video that I put down below in the comments, because I would love for you to get a check while you're waiting for these opportunities. Now, getting back to the people that did actually get a job, Miss Faith said, hey, just wanted to let you know I got hired at the house call pro position that you posted. Keep watching her videos, y'all. She'll eventually share a job that's a perfect fit for you. And that's exactly what we're going to do today. But like I said, put a pin in this video. Please go check out the settlements video, because there is so much money on the table just sitting there. And I need you guys to claim that money before the deadline approaches. So back to the jobs. Now, Zillow is hiring for a production support coordinator. Now, this is a fancy pants job, but basically it sounds like fancy pants, but it's just you doing verification of documents, okay? For people that are going through the loan process, there's always this information that you have to send in to like verify your identity, to verify your address, verify like bank documents and all that good stuff. So it says here, you're going to validate that information that's obtained from the customer, and you're going to process those verifications of things like employment or insurance or other different types of verifications that are needed in order to push those home loans through, or people that are applying for a mortgage. So it says you're going to essentially do this via email. There may be occasional calls that you'll have to make, but most of this is going to be done digitally. And obviously they want you to do things like maintaining the confidentiality. Now, this is a fully remote position. And just so you know, it says employees may live in any of the 50 United States. Okay. So I get a lot of questions about California and New York and states like that. So yes, this is open to all 50 states per this job description. And they are paying between $20 and $30 an hour, which I think is pretty good, because this is for the base salary. You do also get additional performance compensation, as well as other perks and benefits like your healthcare and all of that stuff. So resumes have been done for you. They're available in the paybump.com portal. Now, for those of you that want to work for a company like Square, we've all heard of Square. They are hiring for a customer success advocate. Now, this is going to be a person that's going to be involved with doing customer support via phone and via emails. Okay, so just want to put that out there for those of you that lean one way or the other. Now, you're going to answer different questions around how Square works, or if a person has an issue with their Square account, you would be the person that's ultimately resolving their issues. Okay. You don't need to have a ton of experience. They're just saying, hey, have 1 year of experience working in customer service. Okay. And this is going to vary based on the zone you're in. Like if you were in Phoenix and Atlanta, you would be zone C, that's 20 an hour, and it goes up to 24. But what they're also putting in here is that you're also going to get access to the compensation model, not just for performance, but stock in the company. Okay. We love having stock in the company because that's additional money that goes into your wallet at the end of the day. So make sure you're applying for this job. If you're looking for something that's more customer service friendly, like more entry level friendly, this is what you absolutely need to apply for. Now, when it comes to Stripe, everybody's used Stripe. Now, you may say, Jazzy, why are you showing me jobs that pay like $25 an hour? Well, those jobs that I just showed you that are a part of the customer success umbrella ultimately lead into jobs that pay high six figures, such as this AE position for the product, which is disputes. Okay, we know Stripe processes a bunch of disputes and they sell all these different products around disputes and all of that sort of thing. So if you are someone that has worked in customer facing roles, okay, like what we just talked about, this is what leads you into a role like Stripe that's going to pay you a minimum of $227,000 per year. And that goes all the way up to $341K. You cannot beat this with a stick, people. This is why Jazzy shows you these other types of jobs. So you can say, okay, I'll be a customer success advocate for like 6 months, maybe even a year. And then I'm going to take that experience and I'm going to pop on over here to Stripe, where they will pay me a minimum of $227K. You cannot beat this with the stick, people. You got to have a trajectory. You've got to have a path for how much you want to earn, right? And this is exactly how you do it, okay? So this is how people make six figures in sales and how they like buy a house and how they're able to live that lifestyle because they work their way up using their sales experience. And I do want to point out here that all they're asking you to do is have experience in a customer facing role. You do not have to have a degree. I don't know how many times I have to say that but for these high paying roles, they're not asking you to come in with a degree. And all they're saying here is if you've done anything with fraud, anything with payments, anything where you're dealing with cash or handling of cash, you're the perfect person to apply for this role because they're still going to train you. The reason why they're not asking you to come in with a degree or any of that fancy pants stuff is because they train you. Say it with me. They train me for this job. Okay. So I've done the resumes for you guys. I've shown you where people have landed these six-figure opportunities, people just like you. So there's no reason for you to think that you cannot acquire this. Now, for my people that have worked in HR or any type of benefits, right? If you've done anything with claims, anything with insurance, compensation, even like finance, payroll, dealing with employees, whatever, like you should be applying for this benefits role, okay? If you've dealt with FMLAs, any type of plans, any type of like employee plans, you need to apply for this role. Now, this role is going to pay you 136 minimum up to 200K. Okay. Many of you have had jobs working for places like Nelnet, working for places where you've dealt with like benefits with Sedgwick. That's how you go from there to this, right? Anytime you've done anything like with insurance benefits and claims and all that stuff, all of that falls under the same umbrella of being a benefits program manager. So as I've said before, I've done the resumes for you. There's no reason for you to be like, oh, I need a degree because this doesn't call for a degree. It just calls for you to hit apply. Okay. Now for Cherry is also hiring. They are a buy now, pay later solution for medical practices. Okay. You probably have gone to the dental office or your medical office, even your veterinarian, and you've seen where they offer Cherry as like a buy now, pay later solution. So again, we've talked about this being a customer facing role. So if you're comfortable being customer facing, then this is something you need to apply for immediately. They have a $105K base salary. Okay. Plus $40K in uncapped on target commission. And then you get a generous equity grant, which is additional stock in the company. You cannot beat this with a stick. And oh, did I forget to mention that it's fully remote, that you are not going into an office, right? So just saying 2026 is your year to land an opportunity like this, making six figures. And again, they're not asking for you to have a college degree. So just throwing that out there. Now, for those of you that are like, hey, Jazzy, let me do something else that's a little different. Liberty, why can I not say Liberty? Liberty Mutual is hiring for several positions, okay? They've got everything from claims representative to customer service, customer support, bilingual for those of you that speak Spanish and other languages. But right now, we're just going to look at their claims rep role. Okay, their salary is going to go from 55 to 68K, it's actually 55 to 68 for the minimum starting salary, and the max goes up to 83K. Okay, so for those of you that have worked in insurance, again, easily could walk in making $30, $40 an hour as someone that continues their insurance journey. So you would be doing investigation of claims, you might be processing claims, you might be making sure that information has been received in order to pay out a benefit for, an insurance claim. So this is something that you guys absolutely should be applying for. I've done the resumes for you. Please, if you need help with your resume, we have somebody that can review your resume as a part of our Pay Bump Pro membership. So make sure you're utilizing all of those resources so that you can be absolutely successful in your job search. And again, I just want to give a huge shout out and congratulations to Faith on landing the why can't I talk? I want to give a huge shout out to Faith for landing the House Call Pro position. I'm super excited for you because you told me that you start December 10th. So I'm really, really excited for you. Let us know how it goes. You might have a Pay Bump member over there already. And again, to everybody that's been receiving the recent settlements, the $800, the $900, the $2,000 settlements, the $2,400 settlements, you guys are absolutely awesome. Thank you for sharing the information on this page, because it helps other people go back and check their emails and be like, hey, they actually sent me an email too. And I actually have a random check that's lying around that I thought was a scam, and maybe it just actually is like a real deal check. So I appreciate everybody letting us know how much they're earning from these settlements. This is how we all grow together. So thank you for being so wonderful. And as I always say, if you need additional help, we got you covered. We got your resources. We got all of that, right? So make sure you are utilizing those resources, because as I say, if you stay ready, you never ever have to get ready. Oh,